Welcome students, 10th standard math part 2nd and lesson number 3 is circle, and today we are going to study inscribed angle, intercepted arc and some theorems. So what is meant by inscribed angle? The angle whose vertex is on the circle and arms intersect the circle in distinct points is called as a inscribed angle. In the figure, circle with center C is a given and angle ABC has its vertex B on the circle and the arm BA and BC intersect the circle in points A and C. These are the distinct points. Such angle ABC, is called as a inscribed angle. So what is meant by inscribed angle? An angle whose vertex is on the circle and arms intersect the circle in distinct points is called as a inscribed angle. Now what is meant by intercepted arc? The arc of a circle which lies in the interior of the angle. The arc of a circle which lies in the interior of the angle and point of intersection of circle and angle are the end points of a arc. Then arc is called intercepted arc. In each figure, this is intercepted arc. This is intercepted arc. This is intercepted. There are two intercepted arcs. In this figure also two intercepted arcs. So what is meant by intercepted arc? The arc that lies in the interior of the angle, this angle ABC, and this arc lies in the interior of angle ABC, and the point of intersection of a circle, this point B, and the angle point of intersection of a circle and angle, there are two points B and C are the points of intersection of circle and angle are the end points of arc. B and C are the end points of this arc. Then this arc is called as a intercepted arc. In this figure also, the point of intersection of circle and angle are A and C, and A and C are the end points of the arc AC. Therefore arc AC is called intercepted arc. So arc of a circle which lies in the interior of the angle. So arc of a circle which lies in the interior of the angle and point of intersection of a circle and angle are the end points of arc. Then arc is called as a intercepted arc. In this figure, this arc is not intercepted arc because the point of intersection of a circle and angle are not end points of the arc. Therefore this is not intercepted circle, and here in this figure there are two intercepted arcs. In this figure this is not intercepted arc. In this figure there are two intercepted arc. In this figure there is one intercepted arc. In this figure there is one intercepted arc, and this figure there is one intercepted arc. The next point is inscribed angle theorem. We have now studied that what is meant by inscribed angle. The angle whose vertex is on the circle and arms intersect the circle in distinct points is called as a inscribed angle. In the figure, this is a BAC is inscribed angle because its vertex is on the circle and its arm intersect the circle in B and C, that is in distinct points. Here also BAC is inscribed angle. BAC is inscribed angle, and this angle is inscribed by the arc BAC. BAC, this arc. So angle BAC is inscribed by the arc BAC, and BXC is a intercepted arc. We also seen that intercepted arc is in the interior of this angle, and the point of intersection of a circle and angle are the end points of that arc. Therefore, end points of arc BXC are B and C, and B and C are the points of intersection of this angle and circle. This angle, arm of angle and circle. So BXC is a arc intercepted by the angle BAC. Angle BAC is inscribed angle by arc BAC, and arc BXC is an intercepted arc by the angle BAC. So inscribed angle theorem gives the relation between this inscribed angle and the intercepted arc. Measure of this inscribed angle, that is BAC, is half of measure of the intercepted arc. So measure of inscribed angle is half of measure of arc inscribed by it. That is, measure of angle BAC is equal to half into measure of arc BXC. Here also measure of angle BAC is equal to half into measure of this arc. This arc is denoted by BXC. Here also measure of angle BAC is equal to half of measure of arc BXC. Therefore, the measure of an inscribed angle is half of the measure of arc intercepted by it. Here one circle is given, circle with center O, and angle BAC is inscribed by the arc BXC, and BAC by the arc BXC is intercepted by the angle BAC. It is a given, and we have to prove that measure of angle BAC is equal to half into measure of arc BXC. So there lies the three cases. Case number 1 is center lies on the angle, center O lies on the arm of an angle. This is a case number 1. Case number 2, center lies on the interior of this angle. Center lies in the interior of this angle. And the case 3rd is the center lies in the exterior of this angle. So there are 3 cases to prove this theorem. Now consider the case 1, center lies on the angle. The center O lies on the angle. Now O is a center, so join OC. So we get here triangle OAC. In this triangle, OA is equal to OC, radii of a same circle. Therefore, this triangle OAC is isosceles triangle. We know the property of isosceles triangle. The angles opposite to the congruent sides are congruent. So, OA is equal to OC, or segment OA congruent segment OC. Therefore, this angle and this angle, these two angles are congruent. Therefore, angle OAC congruent angle OCA. Let angle OAC is equal to angle OCA is equal to x. Therefore, let angle OAC is equal to angle OCA is equal to x. Now, think about this angle BOC. This angle BOC is the exterior angle of triangle OAC. We know the theorem of remote interior angle. Measure of exterior angle is equal to the sum of measure of remote interior angles. So BOC is the exterior angle of the triangle OAC. Therefore, its measure, this is equal to the measure of these two angles. This angle is x and this angle is x. Therefore, this angle is twice x. Therefore, we get angle BOC is equal to 2x. Here angle BOC is equal to 2x. But x is equal to angle OAC. Therefore, angle BOC is equal to 2 into angle OAC. But angle OAC means angle BAC. Therefore, angle BOC is equal to 2 into x, 2 into angle BAC. Angle BOC is equal to 2 into angle BAC. So, angle BOC is equal to 2 into angle BAC. Now, think about this angle and this arc. This angle is a central angle, and this arc BXC is a minor arc. So according to the definition of minor arc, measure of minor arc is equal to the central angle. Therefore, angle BOC is equal to measure of angle BOC is equal to measure of arc BXC. So we write measure of angle BOC is equal to measure of arc BXC. Measure of angle BOC is equal to measure of arc BXC. But here measure of angle BOC is equal to 2 into measure of angle BAC. So measure of angle BAC is equal to half into measure of angle BOC. But measure of angle BOC is equal to measure of arc BXC. Therefore, measure of arc BOC is equal to measure of arc BXC. Therefore, measure of angle BAC is equal to half of measure of arc BXC. Let's see. These two angles are equal. Isosceles triangle. This angle is the exterior angle of this triangle. Therefore, x plus x is equal to 2x. Value of this angle is 2x. This is central angle. It is equal to the minor arc according to the property of the minor arc definition. Therefore, this will be 2x. This angle is 2x. Therefore, this arc will be 2x. But this angle is equal to half. This angle is half of this angle. Therefore, this angle is half of this arc. So, angle BAC is equal to half into arc, measure of arc BXC. Therefore, measure of angle BAC is equal to half into measure of arc BXC is proved. This is the first case in which center lies on the angle, and now second is center lies in the interior of the angle. Now here consider the angle EAC. This angle EAC, this angle is half of this arc. Therefore, measure of angle BEAC is equal to 1/2 into measure of arc EXC. This angle is half of the measure of this arc. Similarly, this angle, measure of angle BAE is equal to half into measure of arc BDE. This is by the proof of case 1. In case 1 it is proved. So now add these two equations. This is equation number 6. What is the given? Measure of angle EAC is equal to half into measure of arc EXC, equation number 6, and measure of angle BAE is equal to half into measure of arc BDE. This is equation number 6. Add equation 6 and 7. This angle plus this angle is angle BAE BAC. Angle BAE plus angle EAC is equal to angle BAC. So we get here angle BAC. This arc BDE plus arc EXC is equal to arc BXC. Therefore we get here arc BXC. Therefore measure of angle BAC is equal to half into measure of arc BXC is proved. Now third case is the center lies in the exterior of angle. This is angle and this is center, and this center lies in the exterior of this angle. Now consider two angles. Angle EAB. Angle EAB is half of this arc. So measure of angle EAB is equal to half into measure of arc ENB, and measure of angle EAC is equal to half into measure of angle ENC or CNE. So this angle is half of this arc, and this angle is half of this arc. So angle EAC is equal to 1/2. Measure of angle EAC is equal to 1/2 measure of arc CNE, and measure of angle EAB is equal to half into measure of arc ENB. This is according to the case 1 as we have proved. Now angle EAC minus angle EAB, angle EAC minus angle EAB is equal to angle BAC. Therefore we take angle EAC minus angle EAB is equal to this arc minus this arc. Take half common. Angle EAC minus angle EAB is angle BAC. So measure of angle BAC is equal to, now this arc, this big arc minus this arc will be BXC. Therefore measure of arc BAC is equal to half into measure of arc BXC. This is proved. So this is called as a inscribed angle theorem. So what is this theorem? Measure of an inscribed angle is half of the measure of arc intercepted by it. Corollaries of inscribed angle theorem. Number 1, angles inscribed in the same arc are congruent. This is a circle with the center C. Angle PQR and angle PSR are inscribed in arc PQR, and arc PTR is intercepted arc, and we have to prove that the angle PQR congruent angle PSR. Now this arc PTR is intercepted by this angle. Therefore angle PQR, this angle is half of this arc PTR, and this angle is also half of the arc PTR. Therefore angle PQR is equal to half into measure of arc PTR and angle PSR is equal to half into measure of arc PTR. This is due to the inscribed angle theorem. Therefore, angle PQR congruent angle PSR. This is from equations 1 and 2. Now angle inscribed in a semicircle is a right angle. Given circle with center M, AC is a diameter, angle ABC is inscribed angle by arc ABC, and AXC is a intercepted arc. We know that measure of this arc AXC, that is intercepted arc, is semicircle, and measure of semicircle is a 180 degree. Therefore, measure of arc AXC is equal to 180 degree, and this arc is intercepted by this angle ABC. Therefore, angle ABC is half of measure of arc AXC. Therefore, angle ABC is equal to 1/2 measure of arc AXC. Measure of arc AXC is 180 degree. 1/2 into 180 degree. Therefore, measure of angle ABC is equal to 90 degree. Now the next point is cyclic quadrilateral. If the vertices of quadrilateral lie on the same circle, that quadrilateral is called as a cyclic quadrilateral. Quadrilateral ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral because all its vertices A, B, C, D lie on the same circle. Now here is a theorem of cyclic quadrilateral. Opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary, means angle A plus angle C is equal to 180 degree and angle D plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. Now given quadrilateral ABCD is cyclic, angle B plus angle D, angle B plus angle D is equal to 180 degree because the opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. Therefore, here we write 180 degree. Angle B plus angle D is equal to 180 degree. Angle A plus angle C, angle A plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. Now arc ABC, this arc ABC is intercepted by the inscribed angle, this angle ADC. This angle ADC intercepts arc ABC. Therefore, measure of this angle is half of measure of this arc. So, arc ABC is intercepted by inscribed angle ADC. Therefore, angle ADC is equal to 1/2 measure of arc ABC. Angle ADC, this angle intercepts this arc. Therefore, angle ADC is equal to half of measure of arc ABC. This is due to the inscribed angle theorem. Similarly, now angle ABC, angle ADC intercept this arc. Similarly, angle ABC is an inscribed angle. This is also inscribed angle, and it intercepts the arc ADC. Therefore, this angle ABC is half of this arc. Angle ABC is half of measure of arc ADC. This is equation number 2. Now, measure of angle ADC plus measure of angle ABC. Add equations 1 and 2. Measure of angle ADC plus measure of angle ABC is equal to measure of angle ABC is equal to measure of arc ADC, and measure of angle ADC is equal to half into measure of arc ABC. Therefore here we write measure of arc ABC. So measure of angle ADC plus measure of angle ABC is equal to, what is measure of angle ADC? Half into measure of arc ABC. And what is measure of angle ABC? Half into measure of arc ABC. Adding equations 1 and 2. Now take half common. So in bracket measure of arc ABC plus measure of arc ABC. But measure of arc ABC, this arc, and measure of arc ADC, ABC and ADC constitute a complete circle, and we know that the measure of circle is 360 degree. Therefore 1/2 into 360 degree is equal to 180 degree. Therefore angle D plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. Similarly angle A plus angle C is equal to also 180 degree. That means opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. And what is meant by cyclic quadrilateral? If all the vertices of quadrilateral lie on the same circle, then it is called as a cyclic quadrilateral. Corollary of cyclic quadrilateral theorem. An exterior angle of cyclic quadrilateral is congruent to the angle opposite to its adjacent interior angle. Quadrilateral PQRS is cyclic quadrilateral. Angle QRE is the exterior angle of this quadrilateral. So interior angle for this angle, for angle QRE, interior angle is QRS, and its opposite angle is SPQ. Then angle QRE congruent angle SPQ. So this angle is congruent to this angle. Therefore exterior angle of a cyclic quadrilateral is congruent to the angle opposite to interior angle. This is the interior angle, and angle opposite to this interior angle. So angle SPQ congruent angle QRE. Now these two angles are angles in linear pair. Therefore their sum is 180 degree. Angle QRE plus angle QRS is equal to 180 degree. Angles in linear pair. These two angles are opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral. Therefore their sum is 180 degree. Angle SPQ plus angle QRS is equal to 180 degree. So from equations 1 and 2, right sides are equal, therefore left sides are also equal. QRS get cancelled, therefore angle QRE is equal to angle SPQ. Therefore angle QRE congruent angle SPQ. That is, an exterior angle of cyclic quadrilateral is congruent to the angle opposite to its adjacent interior angle. Converse of cyclic quadrilateral theorem. We know that cyclic quadrilateral theorem, opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. This is cyclic quadrilateral theorem. If pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is a supplementary, then that quadrilateral is a cyclic. ABCD is a given quadrilateral, and if A plus C, that is angle A plus angle C, opposite angles, supplementary, angle B plus angle D is equal to 180 degree, then quadrilateral ABCD is a cyclic. If pair of opposite angles of quadrilateral is supplementary, then the quadrilateral is a cyclic. This is the converse of cyclic quadrilateral theorem. And here is one theorem. If 2 points on a given line, A and D are the 2 points on a given line, subtend equal angles at 2 distinct points. So points A and D are on the same line, and point A and D subtend an angle ABD at point B, and angle points A and D subtend an angle ACD at point C. If these two angles are congruent, then these 4 points A, B, C, D are concyclic, means the points lie on the same circle. If 2 points on a given line, subtend equal angles at 2 distinct points which lie on the same side of line. These 2 points lie on the same side of line AD. Then the 4 points are concyclic, means then points A, B, C, D are concyclic points, means the point lies on the same circle.